Are you stuck with other people's opinions on how to live a great and fulfilling existence? Treat life like an engineer. Here's what I mean. Many times, we look at others for suggestions and ideas on how to become fulfilled in life, and more often than not, what has worked for someone else seems so alien and strange to us. And yet, instead of questioning the suggestions or ideas we absorb, we start questioning ourselves, putting the blame on our shoulders for not being able to make it on another's path. How many times have you tried to replicate another man's success to the letter, friend, only to find out how bad of a replica you can produce? How often do you take each piece of advice from the man you admire to the extreme without adding a bit of variation from your individuality to it? And how often have you failed on such an approach, ending up depressed and tired of even trying, sealing your own fate and accepting to be one of the men that will not be fulfilled in life? If these points raised your curiosity by a small fraction, you might want to hear what I'm about to say. To shape and mold your life as you envision, you must approach it as an engineer and embrace personal experiment, self-science if you will. To put it bluntly, you have to treat your life to some degree as a series of tests and yourself as the lab rat. To know yourself, you have to explore many things on yourself. Whether you want to see if going to sleep earlier benefits you more, if pursuing one way of working instead of another makes you more productive, if one big meal per day gives you more stamina than 5 smaller ones, if connecting often with your network of people is a useful stressor, you need to embrace to some degree a scientific approach to life, since no one else can give you these answers but yourself. Self-experimenting boils down to a few simple steps. 1. Think of a way in which you might live a better, happier, more fulfilling life. 2. Do that thing for a short period of time. And 3. Reflect on what you learned and change your behavior based on your observations. To study yourself, use the same basic principles as science does. Embrace your curiosity, your desire for improvement, and do not be afraid of a small dose of humility towards finding the truth about yourself, friend. Dare to ask questions, do some background research, construct your theories on the elements that interest you, and test them in real life while not shying away from your honest conclusions. We live in a time where you can find studies, papers, and opinions to back up anything. Coffee is great, coffee is awful, carbs are bad for you, fat is bad for you, meat is bad for you. Sleep more to recover on this website. Tips to sleep faster from that expert. Everyone seems to have the perfect solution that somehow never works perfectly on you. In this noisy commotion of the social media world, sometimes the clearest voice for you is a plain one-man experiment. Keep it simple. Try 2 things, find out which one is better. Do that one until you find something even better. Remember that your goal is not to discover a perfect solution to life that can work for everyone. You are just trying to get one step closer to better, to living the life that fits you, to embrace the elements that fulfill you. You should live your life on your own terms, friend, so dare to test anything that you feel is coming up short in your existence. Experiment with your nutrition, give up carbs, give up snacks, give up all food for a day. Test various strategies and keep what works best for you. Become more active, engage with endurance sports, embrace strength training, test out different training plans, discover what works best, long distance cardio or interval training, or a mixture of both. How often do you train? How well do you recover? How are your specific sports skills? Since work is an important element in any man's life, experiment with various methods of productivity. Analyze your biggest time wasters. Pay attention to the times of the day when you are most efficient. Test if short-term goals help you achieve more in your job, or if such an approach is a great stressor for you. Your intimate relationship and family life will be an important element for your well-being, so do not hesitate to challenge your ways in this area as well. Figure out what fulfills you more when you spend time together with a woman that you love or with your whole family. What hobbies can you enjoy together? What addictions disturb your relationships? What makes you happy or unhappy about the other people in your life? What makes them happy or unhappy when it comes to you? To go full science mode on yourself, friend, track your ideas, tests and conclusions using tools that are easily accessible. Since your phone is probably never too far away, you can use Excel, Google Spreadsheets or any other activity-specific app like Chronometer for nutrition or Fit Notes for your gym training to note down your approaches and the different results that you might get. If you are more into the old school way of doing things, you can always grab a notebook and a pen and write things down by hand. In many situations, this approach might give you more in terms of self-reflection and rumination of thoughts, while using an app might give you a better overview through graphs and statistics over longer periods of time. Be wise and use these methods to best fit your own needs. If you want to live a life tailored to your individual aspirations, this kind of process is absolutely necessary, friend, but let me remind you to embrace it with humility, since you will be surprised to find yourself so much fuller of faults and shortcomings than you had imagined. On the other hand, you will finally give yourself the chance to have the satisfaction of seeing your faults and shortcomings diminish, and even though you will never arrive at the perfection that you might become so ambitious of obtaining, you will be, simply by embarking on this process, a better, happier and more fulfilled man than you otherwise would have been. You will never be a perfect man, but you can be a better one, even if it is just through the process of attempting to do so. Will you dare to embark on such a personal journey of discovery, or will you continue to follow the directions of others? The choice is yours to make.